On the Sit Rep, I talk about YouTube potentially taking away the dislike feature on their service, and perhaps why so. Major League Baseball screws over the citizens of Atlanta, and I get into how I think voting should be. All that and possibly more tonight on the Sit Rep. All right, I hope everyone enjoyed that intro. I'm experimenting with some different things around here on this channel, so we'll see how that goes. I want to start out tonight talking about something I discovered earlier today by watching YouTube, and a channel I'll watch called Zeducation, and I'll put the link to his channel in the description below. Funny show. I don't necessarily agree 100% with his politics, but it is a funny channel in my opinion. All right, so the dislike feature. You can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down on YouTube videos, and while I'm talking about that, I highly recommend you attack that like button for this video if you don't mind. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so they want to take away they're talking about taking away the dislike feature. I'm not sure where this sprang up, but I've seen more than one video talk about it today so far, and there's another little service that where you already can't do that. Any guesses? Yeah, Facebook, or as I like to call them, Cuckbook. Can't do it there either. So I'm going to talk about the reason why they're potentially doing this. Zeducation Tyler, that's his name, Tyler, he mentioned it on his show, and I went and did a little investigation on my own part, but apparently the White House has its own YouTube channel, and I guess they show their press conferences and other stupid things that no one really cares about. And about to prove why, apparently they are getting significantly way more dislikes than likes. I'm not talking about even close. I'm talking about like 2,000 dislikes and then maybe only a couple hundred likes. I'm serious. I just spot checked a couple videos just to verify. And yeah, Tyler was correct. A lot. I don't know. Now, I want to say I never bothered looking at the White House channel until now. I don't know how it was when Trump was president. I don't know how it was when Obama was president. I really don't care. All I know is now they're not getting a lot of likes, and it's just the irony is they call Biden the most popular president in American history. Yes, because he got the most votes out of any presidential candidate in history. And even Trump did too. If you take away Biden, Trump actually got the most votes out of any president, but it's because we had all that ridiculous mail-in voting. And I'm going to touch base a little bit later on how I think voting should be ran here in this country. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to that. And at first, the only other video that I was aware of, I'm sure there's plenty more videos that have way more dislikes than likes, or maybe it's a little bit more dislikes than likes. Doesn't really matter. But the U.S. Army a couple years ago, in an attempt to, I guess, reach out to the younger demographic. I mean, well, obviously the military wants younger people in, 18 and up, but they focus on the younger crowd. They're more susceptible. But so the Army Recruiting Command. Yeah, I guess that's what you want to call them. They made this stupid rap video, and I don't know if the soldiers depicted in the video were actors or actual real Army soldiers or not. I'm sure. I mean, there's stand-ins, or not stand-ins, but people in the background that I'm sure are real soldiers. But the two guys that are rapping, I don't know if they're actors or not. I think I read somewhere that they were, and this was partly their idea, but feel free to check it out. Just look it up. I'm not going to really I might post a link to that, but I'm not really worried about it. It is very stupid. And I even trolled the Army's recruiting Facebook page a couple years ago when it came out. I said, yeah, I'm prior service, which I am. And after watching that video, I have a sudden urge to get back into active duty or whatever, which I was just totally trolling them, and they sent me something about prior service getting back in or something. I'm not getting back in the military at all. My time in the military is over. I'm not joining the Air Force, not joining the Coast Guard, reserves, nothing. I am done with the military. I've had my fill, and I've moved on, and that chapter in my life is over. And I want to talk about what Major League Baseball did to the city of Atlanta and to the state of Georgia, basically harming the citizens more than the politicians. because in the end, it usually is the citizens that suffer as a result of political decisions and other big corporate decisions and whatnot. So Major League Baseball decided to boycott the state of Georgia in response to their voting laws, their proposed voting laws. I don't know if those have passed the latest legislature yet. I guess they have. Of course, the corporate press and the people on the left have deemed the new voting laws racist for some reason. Mainly, of course, you have to produce an ID in order to vote, and they limit the amount of mail-in ballots that can be submitted, whatnot. We had a record, obviously, in this last election with the amount of votes. I remember seeing disgusting commercials back before election night saying how more people need to get out and vote, and that's complete nonsense. I am not a believer of more people voting the better. That's absolutely horrible. Anyways, so, whether or not you want to disagree with those voting laws or not, and a lot of people are under the belief that more people voting is good and it's good for democracy. Well, number one, it's bad. All right. I want to explain a scenario on how basically democracy works. And I know this scenario isn't anything that's going to play out, but it is an example of how a bad law can get enacted or a bad person can get put in office. So let's talk about an example real quick. We got 10 guys, 1 woman, all right? So the vote is whether or not the guys want to have sex with the woman, or the woman, on her perspective, doesn't want to be raped by all these guys. So they hold a vote. Democracy, right? Well, guess what? The woman is the only one that votes against the rape, and the 10 guys vote for it. Is that good? Absolutely not. But that's democracy in a nutshell. All right? Our voting age is 18. We have a lot of people voting, a lot of idiots voting. Even people on the right they think that they're smart and they know it all too. I remember when Trump was passing that last spending bill before he was out of office. And first he didn't like it. He said there should be more money. And of course, that's how we got brought in the $2,000 stimulus checks, which turned into $1,400 stimulus checks. Now, a lot of people on the right, for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why, but when Trump said he didn't like the bill, they automatically assumed that he vetoed it. He didn't veto anything. And I remember at the time, just talking to relatives and friends, people I know, they're like, well, Trump vetoed that bill. I'm like, no, he didn't. When did he veto it? And they're just looking at me like I'm an idiot. But no, you're the idiot. What are you talking about? He didn't veto shit. All right? I don't know where they got this information from, but see, that right there, they don't understand how a veto works. So why do people not know that? See how dumb our electorate is? It's ridiculous. Back when the Republic started, we're a republic, not a democracy. In the pledge it says, and to the republic for which it stands, not to the democracy for which it stands. All right? The voting age used to be 21. Now think about that. 1789, I think it's the year Washington was voted in. Could be wrong. It's something like that, all right? Voting age was 21. Now, there was other standards to vote, like you had to own property, you had to prove you could read and write, you had to pass a litmus test. And I'm actually for those things. I really think we need to reintroduce those things. It shouldn't just be any swinging dick off the street coming in there and voting. Yeah, you should have to produce an ID as well. Here's another example. How would all these idiots feel if Vladimir Putin snuck in and got the vote because he didn't have to produce an ID? All right? So now the voting age is 18. It's a result, if I'm not mistaken, of the Vietnam War. They had the draft. The politicians got smart. Like, let's appeal to a younger demographic, voting-wise. So they got younger and dumber people to vote. That's why you're seeing a push for younger voting standards now. And there's actually certain cities and counties around the U.S. that have allowed 16-year-olds to vote. That is absolutely frightening. Unfortunately, that's the way we'll probably go here in about a few years. They'll lower the voting age to 16. Well, you know what? Make it 5 years old. Hell. Promise free Happy Meals at McDonald's by then. That'll probably be the only corporate restaurant remaining. Something like that. Brondo. Anyways, if it's up to me, Now, I know I'm just one guy, and a lot of people, like, when I give my perspective on what the voting age should be and standards and all that shit, a lot of people don't like it. They think I'm crazy. And it doesn't matter. I'm a private citizen. I'm not a politician. I'm just one guy, okay? If it's up to me, I'd raise the voting age to 40 years old. Now, some of y'all that know me might be thinking, well, you're an idiot, then you wouldn't be able to vote. Yeah, I know I wouldn't be able to vote, but I'd rather not be able to vote and have a good government with more freedoms than be able to vote and get outvoted by 100 idiots and get my freedoms taken away. Just like the example of the 10 guys that want to rape the one girl. Okay? Who's right in that scenario? The guys or the girl? See what I'm saying? So that's just my perspective on voting. We need litmus tests, literacy tests. Yeah, I know now. I know some of y'all have heard about the inner city school in Baltimore where the average student had it was like less than a 1 GPA. Like, public schooling. It's slowly failing everywhere. I don't know how many idiots I see on Facebook that can't barely read and write. They're a product of public schools, too. So that's my rant on the way voting should be. Major League Baseball is stupid. They're punishing the citizens of Atlanta because they don't like the law, and that's retarded. And honestly, I don't think very many people actually care about it. I wanted to close with Dr. Fauci. I think he's the highest paid person in the government. Well, that needs to be remedied. He needs to be fired because he's an idiot. That guy says so much stupid shit over the past year. I don't know why people even listen to that guy. He's a moron. That's all I wanted to close with this evening. Everyone have a pleasant evening, and I will talk to you guys later. Later, suckers.